started with a simple request, one I never expected from my own father: hand over the keys to your house. Just like that, I was supposed to give up everything I had worked for. The home I bought with my own money, the place where I finally felt like I was in control of my life. Why? Because my pregnant stepsister, Sophie, needed a place to stay. But the more I thought about it, the less I could understand why I was being asked to sacrifice what was mine. The truth was, I wasn't just being asked for a favor. I was being pushed, manipulated, guilt-tripped into making room for someone who had never once shown respect or appreciation for me. And the worst part, my family acted like I owed them this, that somehow, my life, my hard work, was less important than their expectations. Let me take you back. I'm Emily, 31 years old, single, and finally standing tall in a life I've built from the ground up. No handouts, no shortcuts. Just years of long hours, living in cramped apartments with walls so thin I could hear my neighbor's phone vibrate, scraping by to save enough for the only thing that truly mattered to me: a house of my own. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Every wall, every corner, every project was a testament to my hard work. I was proud of the cracked floors I refinished, the outdated kitchen I transformed with my own hands, proud that I had something nobody could take from me. So when my dad, Greg, and my stepmom, Rebecca, walked into that house and made their demands, I felt every ounce of that pride threatened. I didn't know it then, but that moment would be the start of a battle to protect everything I had earned, against a family that had never seen me for who I was, only for what they could take from me. I guess you could say I learned early on that nothing comes easy in life, especially when it comes to family. I don't know if I was just unlucky, or if I was destined to always be the one who got the short end of the stick, but it sure felt that way growing up. My dad, Greg, was never the type of father you could rely on for emotional support. Sure, he worked hard, made a good living in industrial sales, but as far as being a parent, he was pretty absent. If I was doing something that could be bragged about, he'd show up. If I was struggling or needed him, not so much. In fact, the most memorable moments from my childhood weren't the big accomplishments, but the times he forgot to show up at all. There was this one time I was stuck at school for hours, waiting for him to pick me up after a parent-teacher conference. He'd been too busy to make it, and when he finally arrived, the only thing he had to say was that he couldn't be interrupted during an important sales call. No apology, no acknowledgement of how it felt to be forgotten. I was just an inconvenience in his schedule, one that got in the way of his work. But then there was Sophie. From the moment she entered our lives, it was clear that things were different. Sophie was always the golden child in Greg's eyes. Maybe it was because she came from a broken family, with her father never in the picture. Greg overcompensated for that, giving her all the attention and love he couldn't spare for me. Every achievement, every little thing she did was praised. Meanwhile, I was lucky if I got a half-hearted good job for getting straight A's. It was like I didn't even exist sometimes. My mom died when I was 5, car accident sudden. She was everything to me. I'll never forget that day, sitting on the curb, waiting for her to pick me up, watching all the other kids leave with their parents while I waited for a ride that would never come. She died just 2 miles away, but Greg, he didn't even notice I was alone at school for hours. The moment he walked through the door, standing there with his new girlfriend, Rebecca, was burned into my memory forever. I'd never seen him look at me with such indifference. Rebecca became my stepmom just 2 months after Mom's funeral.